What is going on, everybody? It is 2024 and we've got new toys. Let's go through what's in the bag. We haven't done this one in a while. All right, so it's always fun when you're getting new toys. I have always been somebody that, tends to hang on to equipment for a while. I like what I like, and if I find something I like, I tend to like to keep it and not mess around with it too much. And then I always kind of go to the swing stuff if I'm going to work on it. But this is the year I really felt like I needed to get some new stuff, and so we did. We have a lot of new stuff in the bag. So I'm going to take you through it. This is actually going to be a two-part series because part one of it is here. Part two will be coming later as we get stuff coming in. So I'll talk about why I'm playing what I'm playing, and we'll go from there. All right, now one little disclaimer as we go through here. I did join on with Team Titleist. I signed on as a staff member for them. If you're not familiar with how that works, what basically it is in the golf industry, you have professionals, they will get on staff with companies where you sell enough of their product, they'll put you on, they will give you golf clubs. Now, here at Mistwood, luckily, we do business with everybody. We do enough where it's a choice of what staff you want to do. That's not always the case wherever you're at. So I got to choose from every single company of which one I wanted to do, and I ended up going with Titleist. So when you see the Titleist clubs, yes, they were sent to me. I did not pay for those. The rest of them, I did. But do know that there was a choice that I made to go with that club and those companies. And I'll explain that as we go through, all right? I'll explain why. All right, so let's start a little bit with some of the old here, okay? So we'll start off with the big dog, driver. So this is not new. This is my still Cobra LTD-X, but there is a new aspect to it. I did change the shaft, and this is through some testing that I've been doing. So this is the Tensai 1K Black. This is a stiff flex, it's 65 gram shaft, but it is cut down to 45 inches. And specifically, I tipped it a ½ inch. So instead of being 45.5, it is 45. And I took that ½ inch off on the tip end. So what that does is essentially make the shaft play a little stiffer. When you do a ½ inch, it's basically like half a flex. So this driver is essentially like a stiff and a half or a soft X flex, but I really like it. I've really been enjoying the shorter driver shaft because it really helps me I feel like I just hit the center of the face more, and I'm not swinging it that much slower, and I'm gaining more in ball speed, and also spin has come down. I've talked about that a lot. This is the LS head, and I try to get spin off the golf ball. So that's something I try to do, and it has helped me do that as we go. All right, so we move into the 3-wood. This is new, but it is not Titleist. This is Srixon. All right, Srixon, this is the ZX 3-wood. This is the 3 Plus. It is a 13.5 degree 3-wood. It is really meant mainly for hitting off of a tee because I just need, if I'm hitting my driver 285, 290, I have a club that goes 240, which we'll talk about. I need something in there that has a little bit of a gap filler that I can hit off a tee, so I'm not leaving myself, 4 or 5 clubs longer into a green. So this club does that. It is extremely low spin. So I do have the red shaft, the Hazardous RDX Smoke red shaft in this. And when we're looking at the red shafts add launch, add spin. Okay, so we have a very low spinning head. I'm counteracting that a little bit with some red shaft that's going to send it up a little bit higher, help the ball spin a little bit. But this thing comes out really flat. Honestly, not like the most functional ball flight for hitting into a green, but that's not what I'm looking for. And with these longer clubs, I'm trying to gap, basically like 20, 25 yards as I go through. And this fills that gap, getting out there about 260 for me. All right, and then we get into this new toy as well. This thing is a cheat code. The U-Boat, this is the U505. This is the 2-iron from Titleist. So this guy absolutely hits rockets. It hits heaters. It's crazy good. It feels really good. This is the Hazardous Black. It's a hybrid shaft that they shave down. So this is just the stock shaft they do. It is an extra stiff as we go, and it's 80 grams. So this thing, with the head shape being so big, this thing hits the ball really, really flat. So I was actually really surprised. And I got this first and then realized I needed to make a change at 3-wood because this club was going about 240 and my old 3 was going like 245. All right. And so I can't have that type of gap. And this club, again, it's just meant to hit off of tees really, but I can get this one in the air and actually hit some decent shots into greens. It actually really does work well for that as well. Just again, from the pure head shape being so fat here, this thing will really hit some missiles for you if you want to. So absolutely loving this addition. All right, then we get into the irons here. So we've got, these are new, again, Titleist T150s. T150s are just a little stronger loft, a little bit of a bigger head. What I found was I just spin the golf ball too much. And with my old TA3 heads that I had, those spun way too much as well. So taking a little bit of loft and changing the head design, getting a little bit of a fatter head on here, a little bit more forgiveness, what that does is that actually takes spin off the ball. Ball launches lower, and then it gets out there, and then it starts to kind of peak when it's going out there. So that's something that we talked a lot about in my fitting, which if you would like to see that footage from the fitting, I do have it. But if you would like to see it, let me know in the comments below, because I can put that out if you want to see how I went through and got fit for everything. I liked it because, one, I'm getting back some of the distance. I'm cheating a little bit, getting back some distance by just taking 2 degrees aloft. That's what all these clubs are. They're 2 degrees stronger. But I don't want to be like some of the other clubs that are out there where I don't feel like I need to go down as strong as some of the other golf clubs that you see that are out on the market. So we went with these T150s. They're awesome. They are forged. I do like forged golf clubs as well. I did make a change in the golf shaft. I went to Project X LZs. I used to have Dynamic Gold's 130 gram shaft. It was X100. I still have the shaft. So kind of thought, there's a little cheat code thing for when you get fit. If you're unsure and you have the shafts already, I would keep them. You can always put them back in as you go through. So I wanted to try something just a little bit softer, a little tiny bit heavier. So this is the Project XLZ 6.5, so that's the X Flex, and it's 125 grams compared to 130 with my old clubs. These irons swing weight a little bit lighter. They're at about D1 where I was at D6, which is nuts. So I might mess with that a little bit because I'm pulling the ball slightly, which with the lighter swing weight makes sense. But really actually liking everything about them. We just got to maybe just do a little tinkering on the weight as we go through. But T150s, they're pretty sweet. All right, so here we go, wedges. So I actually carry 4 wedges in my bag. So I have the pitching wedge, which is from the T150 set. This is a 44-degree pitching wedge. So typically I would have a 46-degree pitching wedge, but going down a little bit, again, as we explained. The rest of the set, SM10s. So I did keep these fairly similar as we went through. So I have a 50-degree. I try to gap 5 degrees in between my wedges. Now, obviously there's 6 between the pitching wedge and the 50, but I do feel like I can maneuver it a little bit as we go. But I have a 50-degree. This is an 08F. So 08 is the bounce. That's 8 degrees of bounce. The grind is F, which on those lower lofted wedges, it's going to be F grinds. I have a 54-degree that's bent to 55. The reason I bend it that way, instead of getting like a 56 and going to 55, is you're encouraging, as you add loft, you're encouraging more bounce. I'm somebody that tends to dig, so give me some bounce. But I did go with the S grind. I'm not somebody that likes the super fat bounce, you know, grind on the bottom of the club. The super fat sole just doesn't sit really good with me. So I like this S grind. It has a little bit of forgiveness, but it also is going to be just a little bit of a thinner look as we go. And then the 60-degree actually have this new grind that is out, and I'm actually really liking it. It is the 04T, so 4 degrees of bounce. It's the T grind. But you can see here, even though it says 4 degrees of bounce, it's not like it's all the same. You can see this wedge is a lot fatter. It's a lot wider. So it does play a little bit more bounce than that 4 degrees says. And actually, I'm really liking, again, how this sits. When I'm looking at wedges, one, I'm looking at, they should all gap pretty close as long as I get the lofts right. But I'm looking at how do they sit when I'm going to hit, especially short game shots. Does it look like the leading edge is sitting in a bad spot, or does it look like it's sitting really in a nice spot? It's really a look and a feel type thing. And then I did raw finishes on these. I do like it. It will rust as you go, so I got to be careful about that. But I don't like the darker finishes. They just kind of get dirty and all that. But I think they look cool when you first get them, but I guess I'm not that good at keeping them clean. Shaft wise, I do have actually that same Project X in the 50-degree because I pretty much swing this one full. That's all I do is hit full shots with this for the most part. And then I do have the Dynamic Gold Tour issue. This is the S400, so it is a stiff shaft instead of an X Flex because I don't swing my wedges as hard and I want a little bit of feel in the shaft as we go. So I'm back in that Dynamic Gold family on those two as we go through. And then when you go into Old Trusty, we'll see how long this actually stays in the bag. We might have a new toy coming, we'll see. But we have the Odyssey. This is the OG, the White Hot OG Rossi. So this is actually a putter I had in college. I got rid of it, and then I was just like, man, I got to go get this again. We did a video on me getting this last year at the Superstore, brought all the equipment. This is just one based on how it all aligns with all the alignment. I just can really get it aligned pretty good. So as long as I just keep checking my alignment, I actually roll it really well too. Not sold yet on the insert. I mean, I've used it for a while, so I don't know how I'm not sold yet, but the insert sometimes gets me, but I do seem to putt it or roll it at least pretty well. So that one's staying in the bag so far. Now you can see we got a new golf bag. This is obviously again from Titleist. This is a great bag to have, light. The only thing I would say is I just typically don't like the backpack style straps. I like when it's separate. There's just two straps that are separate apart. To the golf ball. Golf ball, this is actually a big factor in why I chose what I chose, is the golf ball. I am a huge Pro V fan. Obviously they are pricey, I get that, but as far as testing golf balls, this is easily the most consistent golf ball out there. I want consistency. I want to know that it goes this distance. There are golf balls that I hit farther, but I'll hit it farther than a Pro V sometimes. Then some shots it's less than a Pro V, and I don't like that. So I play the regular Pro V, trying to keep the ball flight down, trying to keep spin down. I do sacrifice a little bit of ball speed because of that. I might look at the left dash ball that they have as we go, but we have that. Play number 99. It was the number I was in baseball. People think it's for Wayne Gretzky. It's not. It's the number I was in baseball. And yeah, that's what we've got. So that is my golf bag for 2024 part 1. Again, part 2, more to come as we see stuff getting released. Stay on the lookout on the tour. You're going to see some stuff, but that is what I'm going to be gaming. What are you gaming is what I'm curious about. We do tons of fittings here. I'm curious to hear what people game, why they game it, and what they are looking for, and any questions I can answer. So let me know in those comments down below. And as always, click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.